Alright, can y'all hear me? Yes, no, can you hear? Alright, good. Oh, my dog just got done attacking me. Good girl, good girl. Okay. I just got home from the concussion training. So I apologize about that. Alright. So, I'm gonna go show you where I stole one of our PowerPoints from. So, again, I like Mr. D's website. He's got some good stuff on it. Normally, I have all this stuff ready for you guys. Sorry about that. Um, I'm getting my laptop open so I can see what you guys are typing. So you guys got 4 tests tomorrow, broken up into 10 segments. You can come here. Come on, girl. There you go. Oh, God. And now she's licking my face. Okay. So, enable editing. And this is the one I want. So you have, remember this chart? Okay, and that's what I want to make sure we go over here. Time to get rid of it and see how much you guys can remember. No cheating, no going back. I can't see your responses right now until I get it up on my laptop. So, but this will be the first test essentially, is just kind of putting stuff in the right spot. I like this PowerPoint because it's cut and dry. It doesn't have every single thing that we need to talk about that will be on the test, but it has most of it. All right, I'm almost there. I can almost see what you guys are typing. I will try to keep. I know it's already 8:20. I know some of y'all go to bed earlier than others. I'll try to keep it to 8:45. Yeah. Sorry about this again for being so late. Uh, hey, there's 16 of you guys watching. Yay. Okay. And I can hear myself talking. Okay, all right, here we go. So, what are we looking at legislative? All right, first off, what's the main job of the legislative? Anybody know? I know it was not fun, Chris. It was not fun. What's the main job of legislative? Good. So that means over here, no matter which level, make laws. Make laws? What's local going to make? County or city? What are they going to be making? It's not going to be laws, it's going to be something else. Good. Good. So our local laws are called ordinances. So our first level, this is all review. This should be easy. Congress, Senate, House of Representatives. At this point, I expect you to know that, okay? We've gone over that a ton. There's no excuse if you don't. But for the next one is the new one. So let's break it down. Who can tell me state? I'm just going to tell you it's going to go local, county next, and city and town. So if you like to be a fast typer, that's what's coming. So tell me, what do we call, what's this? What's the version of Congress for state for Virginia? And then what's in the state version of Congress? What are the two houses inside of it? Man, Grace has got the fast internet connection tonight. Good. So what are the two houses inside the General Assembly? You guys got that? Good. Man, Chloe. Chloe's always just seconds behind. Girls, though. Girls are the faster typers. All right, so we got the General Assembly and the House of Delegates. Very good. It's the same thing. They make national laws. They make state laws. They have a national Senate. We have the Virginia Senate. I know it doesn't say Virginia, but it's Virginia Senate. They have the House of Representatives. We have the House of Delegates. They do the same exact job, except we do it at the state level here. All right, what's going to be our local? What's going to be our county? Man, Grace does have the fast internet. Board of Supervisors. Good job. Again, they're not making laws, they're making county ordinances. Ordinance is just a fancy way of saying local law. I know you guys love having words that mean something else that you already know that gives you a fancy way of saying it. So there you go. Ordinance is a local law. That's all it is. So they make national laws, state laws, make county ordinances. So that's what Prince William has. And then down here we have the council. They make town ordinances or city ordinances. So it's either city council or town council. They're all making laws of some kind, local and that. They make the annual budget. They make the biennial budget. Remember, biennial once every 2 years. Annual, annual. They all make. No, they don't make. I'm about to tell you the wrong information. They approve the annual budget. They approve the biennial budget. They approve an annual budget. They approve an annual budget. They're the approvers. All of them approve. The job title doesn't change. So I just want to make sure we're all good on that. Okay, I'm really backward. The job title does change. The job doesn't change. I'm out of sorts. So if you can just remember that, and again, remember, you're allowed to do this on the SOL and on my test. Take a piece of paper. If you think, man, how am I going to remember all this, or I'm going to mix them up, get it down as best you can and then write it on a piece of paper before you even start the test. Now, you can't copy it and then bring it out during the test, but it is not against the rules, and it's good practice if you want to do this for other tests. Is if you know you're struggling, ask your teachers. Most of them should be okay with this because it's not against the SOL or any state testing, and I've seen some of you do it in my class, and I think it helps. Write down what you remember before you start the test, and that way, later on during the test, if you have a brain fart or you're forgetting or you just can't remember, you can look at your piece of paper as kind of like your own little cheat sheet that you made yourself. So we go to executive. President, vice president, cabinet. All right. What do we call the head executive for the state? Daniela made sure she was first. I think she had that typed out previously. The boys are getting clever. See, they just wrote gov. See, yeah. I see it. I see it. All right, what do we call what? So the governor is the state version of president. What's the state version of vice president? Oh, there's Chloe, and Rami's way off. The Daniela wants to have a lit government, not a lieutenant. She wants to have a lit governor. She needs to see Hazel about that. Anyway, so we have the governor, lieutenant governor, and the cabinet. Now, I don't have it's not up there, but we did go over it. Who's the head lawyer for the state? So if Virginia's trying to put you in jail or they're deciding which lawyer gets which case, who's in charge of doing that? See if you guys remember from the notes. Good. Good. There you go. Attorney General. I'm going to be 100% honest. That's not like the most vital one to remember. Yes, it's good that you know it. Maybe one question. It could possibly be on the list. Well, I just want you to know it as more of a just in case. The governor, lieutenant governor, you should definitely know. I mean, they're going to be more, apparent, and I'm going to have more questions related to those. But you should know attorney general. All right, Rami. Rami. Nobody else answer. Let Rami do it. Rami, what is the county one for executive that is optional? Rami, 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 Rami. Rami, if you mess up, you never get the chair again, by the way. No pressure. All right. All right. Good job, Rami. So, the manager, again, that's an optional one. Doesn't mean we have one. I don't think we have one in Prince William County off the top of my head. But for instance, when Detroit was going bankrupt, they hired a manager for their city. Now, I know it's a little different. We're talking about county, but again, it's optional. County does not need to have one. Okay. So, and the last one, what's the executive for the city or town? Go ahead and type it. Anybody can answer, not just Rami. Good job, Carson. So we have a mayor. So this chart is pretty much the first test. It's pretty much knowing what they do. Again, the president enforces the law nationally. The governor enforces state law. Who helps the president do his job at the national level? The cabinet. Who helps the governor do his job? The cabinet. It's literally going to be the same questions. The only thing, this is what messes kids up, is and you guys do it all the time. It drives me crazy. You don't read the question. You have to look for national, state, or local, and then just identify it from there. The mayor is enforcing ordinances. So if it says the word ordinance, the answer can't be governor. It can't be president because we're talking local. So those are the kind of clues you need to look for. What else is there? Like I said, that's pretty much going to be it. On this test, there might be a court question you can see. I don't even have a chart for it over here because I deleted it because I thought it was a waste to have over there. If it says courts, which branch am I talking about? Judicial. If I'm talking about the highest court, it's going to say Supreme Court right over here. If I was talking about the state highest court, it's going to say Virginia Supreme Court. That's all there's going to be details on that for now. I'm not going to go any more in depth. I know in the study guide I told you about that. I asked some questions about that. Not worried about that for right now. State laws are called state laws, Rami. So that's going to be the max amount of judicialness questions, judicial information you need to know. We're our next unit, we're doing all in judicial, and I'm saving it for then. I don't want to confuse you with that stuff until then, because that's probably the hardest unit in my opinion. Good luck, guys. And the other thing is the reserve stuff I'm not getting to yet because that's going to be on the next test, Asia. I see your question. Okay. So, again, this is the courts. Look, you see all this stuff? This is coming. We're not there yet, so don't worry about that. All right, so state legislative, we talked about it. State executive, we talked about it. All their jobs. We've gone over this in class. In case you want to look at it again. Running the government, can get people out of jail free, cards, enforce laws, appoints cabinet members, type deal. I don't want to get to this stuff just yet, so we're going to exit out of this. And let's go over to where I got your study guide from. In case you ever wanted to cheat, I'm just showing you how to, That's why study guides are not worth a grade, because I don't care if you know where the answers are. I just want you to work on stuff. Like, this is practice. Alright, so again, 7A, you have, and by the way, if you're watching parents, they have the study guide. It was their homework, so there, I just sold you kids out in case you told your parents you had no homework. So, Um, what is federalism? It's the division between national, state, and local, which we've talked about. Separation of powers, those are our different branches. So you just need to make sure you understand that. We have executive, judicial, legislative, 3 branches, separation of powers. 3 different levels, national, state, and local, equals federalism. So, federalism, there's our answer right there, division of power between national and state. Now, here's where Asia was talking about reserved for the states. So, you see, it talks about state powers being reserved. Anybody tell me what amendment gave us that? What amendment says powers not given to national government are reserved for the states? See if anybody remembers their number. Oh, I should say it louder that you kids had homework, in case they didn't hear me. You know, that study guide that's due tomorrow. And yes, Asia, you're correct. 10. So, 10th Amendment. Good. That's the only number you got to know for this test. If you guess any other number, you haven't been paying attention. That's the only amendment numbers. Now you know 3 of the amendments that we have to learn about for the SOL. So, 10th Amendment, reserve powers for the states. If it's talking about expressed, implied, enumerated. Remember, enumerated is a fancy way of saying expressed. Numero dies 10. I don't know about that, Brandon. Anyways, if it says enumerated, express, or implied, it's talking about the national government. Okay? You should know what those terms already mean, but it's referring to the national government. So, which level of government's always on top? We already talked about this in class. It was on the Jeopardy game. National. So, I know you guys can't see me, and I have to remind myself. I need to get like a webcam one day and just do it that way too. And then you guys can make fun of the way I look too. National at top, like the way I do it, I literally just do like my hand motion going down, if you can imagine that. So national on top, state in the middle, local at the bottom. So we got that. Denied powers. Those are things that basically we don't want any government ever having. So the right to prohibit habeas corpus, basically the ability to arrest you without telling you why. The right to restrict, to make you have to take in soldiers. That's why we have the Third Amendment. Again, you don't have to know that, but the point is we don't want. Oh, you guys are confusing yourselves. Hold on, let me finish. Denied powers are just things that we don't want any government to have any control over. So they're denied to everybody. So federalism is what I've been describing this whole time: national, state, and local. Will there be federal questions? Possibly. I might ask you the national legislative, and you should go, Mr. Wood, that is a joke. Obviously, that is Congress. You should know that by now, guys. We're not like that at this point. Like we're building on information, like you do in math, where you build, like you learn multiplication, and the next thing you learn about how to do exponents and things. You should already know national government by now. We've gone over it. We've talked about it. That should be easy. So back to this. We talked about what they look over. So national, they're going to be about foreign policy. Regulating commerce is just a fancy way of saying basically making sure businesses, people aren't going super bankrupt. And common defense is our military. Whereas the state, they're going to worry about like our hospitals. Even though I know hospitals are mostly private, but like ambulances, fire trucks, police, running the programs to make sure that people are not just dying in the streets and so on. That's what they're responsible for. Yes, Congress is legislative, and Congress is a part of the national government. So I don't. Maybe I'm. I don't. I hope I'm not confusing any of you, but my point is you should know that by now, in terms of what they're going for. All right. Some other things in case you were looking for like powers and what they do. By the way, if you ever see this word, don't confuse yourself. Concurrent power, like that's just a fancy way of saying shared. Uh, so, anyways, this is going to be one. So that was the next test. So one test, 7A. Second test, 7B. On this stuff, again, about 10 questions. I think it's really easy, guys. I think you should do well. We'll see. So now we're on state lawmaking. Now I can go back to the PowerPoint because I want to do it that way. Whoops. From current slide. All right. So here it is in a nutshell. It looks really familiar because it's the exact same thing. All right. We have introduce, then we have committee, then we have debated and voted on, and then we have sign or veto. The only thing that changed was House 1 could be either the Virginia Senate or the House of Delegates. House 2 could be the Virginia Senate or the House of Delegates, wherever one did start in. But the steps don't change. Introduce, committee, debate, vote. Just like it was for national, same thing for state. And then in the end, instead of the president signing or vetoing it, it's the governor signing or vetoing. That's the only change. That's all there is to it. That's local. I don't want to get there just yet. All right. So back to this. Oh, one thing I did forget. We talked about this one. Tensions exist between national and state. That's going to be basically, we've talked about it, where national government says, hey, we want you to do this. And the state says, I don't have enough money. And this national government's too bad. Well, just like, try to give you a relevant example to yourselves that you guys can use. It'd be like me asking you, you should help your big brother with their calculus homework. And you're like, I don't know how to do that. And I say, too bad, help them anyways. Sometimes the national government does that to the states when they don't have the money, and they still tell them you got to do it. Well, that causes a little bit of friction. In other words, tensions, meaning like they're not always going to get along happy together and stuff. Oh, I have to ban people. Sorry. 1 second. There you go. By the way, if you have a blue name, you guys have the right to block people. So Grace, maybe I need to make some other people. I thought I made Carson one too. I try to make people I see in here regularly that don't do dumb things, people like that. I know, like Kylie, you have it too. Oh, Carson is one. Okay. You guys need to be quicker on that. I'll make Chris one too. There you go, Chris. Yeah, Rami, I can't make you one because then I couldn't put you in timeout. I can't break that tradition. All right. Asia, you're already one. So, anyways, if you see that and what you do, just in case like I'm not quick enough or I don't notice it because I'm going over stuff, you'll see over here these like little dots. You click on next to their name, and then you can. Well, I can remove you, but I can click block or put in timeout. So that's how I do the controls in case you guys need to help me. You guys have been good. I'm sure it's past student, wanting to be a jerk or something like that. You guys just can help me out by blocking them, okay? I'm not timing you out. You've been fine, Rami. All right. So, back to where we were. So I covered that. So the 5 issues, we talked about these in class, but I have a feeling some of you guys forgot. There's 5 primary issues states are worried about. Now the 3 here at the top, usually you guys can remember: education, public health, and environment, because that's what the states, health, welfare, well-being, that type of deal. Then the other ones that you guys kind of forget sometimes is state budget, biennial, 2 years, and they can levy and collect taxes. I would say out of 7C, this is the hardest stuff to remember here. Individual, why do they make laws? Response to problems. We've done that nationally. Individual help group, interest groups help shape legislation. We talked about that with national. Should all be review. But I think you guys understood this stuff pretty much. You just forget that it goes with state. So again, just something you might want to remind yourselves of. So here we go with state. We talked about it in governors in charge of enforcing laws. The roles. They're all repeats except for this one. Who remembers what is chief administrator a replacement for? So what does administrator replace from the national version? Public health and general welfare are pretty much the same, but I would say that they're similar, just different wording. Correct, Chris. Chief executive. So, chief administrator is the same thing as chief executive. But in case you guys forgot these, chief of state, that's like the ceremonial head. They're doing like inviting the championship state football team to the governor's mansion. Chief legislator when he's dealing with the general assembly. Chief executive, is the same. That's what the national version is. Chief administrator. He's running the government. Party chief. He's helping out his political party. Commander chief. This is like if there was ever an emergency, like the National Guard was called in, he would command those armed forces. So that's all those. Good. Um, Again, more of his jobs. That's pretty much all there is to the executive. That's why these two are combined. Let's see. I will give I don't know a treat or some kind of extra credit. I'll owe you something. Who can tell me what's the speech that the governor of Virginia gives once a year? You gotta type it. The speech that the governor gives once a year. We barely talked about it, but I did tell you about it. No, State of the Union's national. Woobit comes in with the win. State of the Commonwealth. State of the Union's national, guys. State of the Commonwealth. Woobit always wins those. I gotta block her next time. I'm gonna time her out just so she can't answer. Did I say that out loud? My bad. Okay. Anyways, so here we have our local. Anyways, we have local. Again, guys, a lot of this repeats itself. There's 3 different types of localities: county, city, and town. We talked about their local laws. I like going back to this for going over this. And it's 8:47, I know, so I'm gonna try and hurry this up. So that way, I know some of y'all need to get to bed. They all have to have this no matter what. They all got a sheriff. They all got a treasurer. They all got a commissioner of revenue, clerk of the circuit court. Sheriff, police, treasurer, budget money, commissioner of revenue, tax collector, clerk of the circuit court, kind of like making sure our courts and everything's like everybody's where they're supposed to be, and kind of like making sure it's organized, kind of like the backbone of the courts. That's your quick rundown. Most of the time, if there's a question about this, it's going to be like, name the 4 things they all have, or which one of the following don't belong, and we'll give you 3 of these, and one of them will be missing, and, blah, blah, blah. Those are typically the type of questions I get asked with that, for that stuff. We talked about that. We talked about ordinance. We talked about that. Please don't miss this. Who's in charge of schools? The school board. Chris, by the way, man, it's not a rush. It's just Wooba's got those fast typing fingers, I care more about y'all getting it right. So they're all going to be similar. We talked about the different structures of them already. Again, it's mostly knowing them, what they do. This is literally what it says in the SOL, and we've gone over it all. One thing we did talk about, their powers derived from the state. And the only thing that's not on that other PowerPoint this is in your notes though, is this is what the local governments are pretty much in charge of. So they're going to make sure we're following our state and local laws or ordinances, public health, safety again, doing all that, educate children. That's why you're in Prince William County schools, protect the environment, regulate land use. Certain areas are business related, certain areas are residential where you like living, and they're going to help levy and collect the taxes. Remember, Prince William County, the only reason they have any powers is because they get it from the state. Where does the state get their power from? Chloe, I'll answer your question in 1 second. Where does the state get their power from? Hint, you can see the answer on the screen. No, not people. Not national. There we go. Chris was first. Close enough. The Virginia Constitution. So remember, that's going to like outline everything that everybody can do. So there you go with that. The only time we talk about the people or the voters, because I know you guys were thinking of that question, is when we're amending the Virginia Constitution. It has to be proposed by the General Assembly, and it's going to be ratified by the voters. 2/3 General Assembly, 3/4 voters. I doubt that's on there. You know, you guys will find out, but we'll see. All right. I'll answer any questions. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm sorry, I don't feel like this is one of my better ones, but I was kind of in a rush, guys, so, you know, forgive me on that aspect. You guys got any questions for me? Go ahead and throw them out. Quiz us in the chat. All right, I'll type out quiz questions while you guys type in other questions. Is that fair enough? I told you you could use a homework pass for the study guide. Um, I do want you to do it. I mean, essentially all it is following your notes. It's not like it's uh, you know, that stuff. I did go over the so Chloe, to answer your questions, yes, it's going to be in the grade book as a completed or not completed assignment. It will not affect you numerically. So you don't absolutely have to do it, but I am going to make it a requirement for retakes that people did that. Or if they didn't do it, they're going to have to, do something extra for me. Um, I don't understand why you say it's confusing you. Maybe you could explain that. All right, Brandon. All right, well, let's help Brandon out. What are all the chiefs of the state? So the governor. Name his 5 roles. Let's see if we can do it. Woobit, I see. You always ask me that question, Woobit. You're trying to get a test answer out of me. I've caught on. You ask me that every single time. The hardest part for me, Woobit, that I would say for people is, like you did today, when I ask you about what is federalism, you'll give me like the definition of separation of powers instead of telling me the different levels. Chris got one. Chris misspelled another one. Grace got another one. We're missing 2. We're missing 2 right now. And Rami got the rest. So, to answer your question, Brandon, Chief of State, Chief Administrator, Chief of Party, Commander-in-Chief, and Chief Legislator. You guys got any other questions for me? I'll quiz y'all while we're doing this, but if you have any questions you specifically want to ask. Man, Grace is quick. Eh. You guys got any, like I said, if you have any questions, type them in as well. I'll try to get to them. It's faster when I type it out, the question, because there's a delay when I talk. That's fine, Chloe. You do what you gotta do. Um, you know, some of you guys were, probably the people that are here are not the people I'm referring to. Some of y'all were not paying attention as good as you should have been during the review, and I had to keep getting on you guys as a class. So you like need to get your peers, get their butts in gear sometimes to pay attention. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, 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 bum, 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 ba-dum, doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. Grace is quick at the typing. Um, what else can I get you with? You guys are free to leave too, by the way. I'm probably gonna call it at 9 o'clock, no matter what. So about 4 more minutes. If you did I just go offline? Oh, there it goes. What did I do, Brianna? Brianna, what? What did I do? I said Woobit is correct. Oh, I don't know. It's my internet doing something weird. Yeah, my laptop's struggling a little bit too. Yes, I am spending my personal time helping you study because I hate you, Chloe. That's perfect. I forgot how logical you were. What did my wife say about making cupcakes and stuff? Should I just tell her to go forget that? Because I wanted to make you guys suffer, right? Yes. I think I should follow Chloe's logic. You don't get bullied. Don't play the victim card. You do not get bullied. I'm thinking of questions, by the way, while you guys are typing. Uh, Chris, do you really want me to embarrass you, man? Like, I won't have another. My head will be fine this time. My heart will be fine. And it's not executive all. Executive all is wrong. I told y'all you do this all the time. Read the question carefully. So who's the state executive? Good job. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like if you can do that, guys, the test will be a joke. It'll be easy. You're gonna be fine for the you might. Yeah, I'm not saying that's every question, but that's what I see a lot of people make that mistake. And then Rami, I know you pay attention in class, but you get my point now. You read it really quick and you saw enforce. I'm like, okay, I know that all the levels enforce the law. I got this. Next question. Except you didn't see that I was asking for state laws. So that's why like I have to make sure like you guys understand what I'm getting at when I say look to make sure you know which level it's talking about because it's not a hard question. You knew what the answer, Rami, but you know what I mean. I had to point it out to you. You guys do that all the time. Take your time and read it. I know it's lagging. There's nothing I can do. So, all right, guys. It's 9:01. Last chance for any questions. No more quizzing unless you specifically ask. You can ask whatever, Brandon. I don't care. Five roles: Chief Administrator, Chief Legislator, Chief of Party, Commander-in-Chief, and Chief of State. Study Island's also up. I'm going to type it too. Um, if you guys want more practice. My Christmas and New Year's, I slept a lot. Um, Chris, I'm going to scroll up to so you can see what the states focus on. It's education, public health, environment, state budget, and revenue, in case you're listening, though. Chief Administrator is Chief Executive for state. I don't know what I said, but that's a little bit you're correct. A little bit you're correct. Okay. Um, but yeah, I slept a lot for Christmas and New Year's. I enjoyed it. Um, got me the movies. Got to watch, Civil War and catch up on all these movies I haven't seen or want to see again. You're gonna ask me and just jet. I see how it is, Brandon. It's okay. It's okay. All right, guys. Anything else? Last chance. Well, you need a lot of help, Rami. I don't know, man. I don't know if I have all that much time. I mean, come on. I get some sleep. Chief Administrator, Chief of State, Commander-in-Chief, Chief of Party, Chief Legislator. I do. I like sleep. I love sleep, man. You wait till you guys get to college. Sleep is amazing. I want all of you to get to college, then you can realize just how amazing sleeping is. Uh, I need Rami to. I gotta have something, man. This is the first time he's made it almost the whole way through. I'm about to close it out, and Rami hasn't done or said anything for me to put him in a timeout yet. I went to Lynchburg College. Should I do it just to keep the tradition alive? Why is this thing frozen? Oh, this thing's really behind here. Oh no, my whole internet's like freezing. I can't see anything. Yeah, and then no please. No, I can't do it for no reason. There's gotta be a reason. That would be corrupt if I did it any other way. To do it or not. Alright guys, good night.